Starting at the bottom of the front leg, you have the hoof, and the hoof bone coming here. And you see this horse has got lots of calcifications here. It's an older horse that we've borrowed. So you see all these little strange things that are not really what you want. But he's 23 years old, this guy, so. The horse before had more toes, but now the horse has raised up and is now moving on this one toe, which is the hoof. These two here are previous toes that have developed back. So you can see this little nose standing out here. That's the reason why I like to ride with tendon boots or with bandages when I'm working my horse. Because when my horse is shod, you could very easily tip with one foot over and hit this, and this could break off like a little nose, and then it would be wandering around this little splint here. And that would be very bad for all the tendons that work here to make the horse move. So if the horse is in the field and is running around, I don't really need any tendon boots or anything. You can go, so to say, naked. But when I'm riding it, it's a different balance, because the horse has to look after himself and me as a rider. So then I prefer to use tendon boots or bandages. This is the fetlock coming up to the front knee. And one can see on this again, he has this big thing of cartilage. He must have stumbled at some time and hit his knee. So this is not like an average horse would look like. It's just really strange. Then it comes up to the horse's elbow, and in previous time one hasn't talked much about the elbow, but the elbow is a very important joint, because it's like with my elbow, there's a lot of movement in this joint. When I look at a horse which I would like to use to ride and educate, it's quite important that this joint is not too close to the rib cave, that he's a little bit more room here so that he can swing his leg forward and backwards, so there's room to do the movement. If it's too narrow, it'll, kind of cling on here, yeah? And also nice and important that the girth is nice, so it doesn't stop this movement, no? Through the last years, there has been doing, looking at the best horses in the world through the past 10 years within dressage, and it has been shown that those 10 horses had this bone longer than the average horse. Yeah, so we often talk about the shoulder being important, has a nice angle, but this bone on the good horses was longer, so this is maybe quite important that it has this length. The shoulder joint is nice and so, it goes nice and slow down so, and then it goes like this, yeah? And the movement of the shoulder is not attached, like I said earlier on, with any joints or anything. It's all just muscles and ligaments and tendons. This is cartilage again. You can see there's a lot of cartilage on top of the shoulder bone, which when you put the saddle on, there's a lot of movement here. And it's important that the saddle is sat right on the back, so it doesn't stop this movement. Because when you have somebody come and maybe treat your horse, or you do it yourself, you can lift up the horse's front leg, then you can pull it forward. This doesn't go, this one is a bit too stiff, this old horse. But you know yourself that you can pull it forward, and then you can kind of jangle it a little bit, and then you can pull it even more forward. And when you see a trotting horse, or a very good dressage horse, or a jumping horse, it really pulls up his front legs and really has a lot of movement in all of this to kind of get up and going. And in the extended trot, the horse comes in from the hind leg, so the pelvis tips, it opens it back, and this chucks forward, and you get a very nice extended movement. And then the front leg shows where it wants to put its hoof, and it puts its hoof in the point that it's pointing to. That's the best extended trot. When you're saddling your horse, you have to make sure that the saddle is lying so that the horse can move this, so this doesn't get, pressed in, or the saddle is on top of here, because that really makes it difficult for the horse to move. a little exercise that I really like doing with my horse is when I turn my back to his chest, and I let him lean on the wall or stand towards the wall. Then I ask him to come around and pick up a carrot. So I take the carrot with me all the way down, really, really far, far down, as far as he can go. So he has to go and pick up the carrot here. And he has to do it a couple of times every day, like he can have a little nibble of carrot and then he has to come again and come again. And this little movement, when he turns around like that at the lower angle of his neck, makes him open up the shoulder blades, which is very good for the ligaments and the muscles lying underneath it. So he really has to, you can see the shoulder blades rotate a bit. And that's quite good movement. That's very good gymnastics for the horse to do this little thing.